The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it's a terrific Tuesday here inside the SWBC podcast studio. Mickey Spagnola has his headset on. Everson Walls is busy tweeting away. And we are ready for a new game week. Giants week starts now. Right, Mickey Spagnola? Now Mickey's tweeting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I'm
All
turning
right.
my volume off.
Oh, very good. All right.
Well, you had us fired up, then Spags just let the energy drop.
He
really,
did,
just
exactly, right. And he's the star of this show as well. All right, so it's a day off for the players. It's a Tuesday.
Yes.
But it is a game plan Tuesday and get things ready for the return of the players on Wednesday. And the road to the Super Bowl just got easier because of what happened on Monday night for your Dallas Cowboys.
I love that.
As was not predicted here yesterday, the Arizona Cardinals fall to the Los Angeles Rams. Right?
I loved it. That makes everything a lot more interesting in the NFC.
I guess the Cardinals are in a slump, huh?
Uh-oh, here it goes.
They had won in 2 weeks. Forget the bye week. They couldn't win on the bye week.
That's right.
They are 3-3 in their last 6 games.
Ah, interesting.
Same as the Cowboys.
Did not know that.
Well, there you go. All
No,
right.
we are 2 out of 3.
You're only doing
we're
5.
2 out of 3.
And so, yes, the Cowboys are now just 1 game back in the race for the top record in the National Football Conference. The only problem is there are 3 teams ahead of them. And one's even with them, the Rams as well.
And they can only do something about one of them on their own, right?
They play Arizona head-to-head. Have you done the research on tiebreakers and stuff? If it was a multiple-team tie with these, you alluded to it yesterday that the Cowboys
if it's a
have
2-team tie,
a 7-1 conference record
the
or something like that.
NFC record is the other than head-to-head. NFC record's next, but I think if it's a 3-team tie, then you still head-to-head, and if somebody's head-to-head, the loser gets eliminated.
So let's just throw this out there. Forget about Green Bay for now because Cowboys haven't played Green Bay. All right, they played Tampa Bay and they will have played Arizona. Let's say it's a 3-way tie, but I don't know if Tampa Bay probably hasn't played Arizona. I don't know if they have.
They have not.
Okay,
they have
so
not
there you go. But we do know Dallas lost to Tampa Bay and
Tampa lost
Arizona.
to Washington.
But Green Bay's in there.
Yeah, Green Bay. I just threw them out for now.
Oh, you got them out.
Just for now because the Cowboys hadn't played them. I was trying to figure out a head-to-head scenario. But, all right, you have conference records in front of you? You want to dive right into this right off the top?
Dive.
I do not have conference records in front of me.
I can get them pretty quickly here.
But I think most of the teams are 3 losses. Some of them have 2.
All right, I got your conference records in front of me now.
I got your conference records right here.
Okay, conference for the Cowboys, 7-1.
Right.
For the Packers, they are 8-2 right now. The Bucks are 6-3 in the conference, and the Cardinals are 6-3 in the conference. Cowboys have nothing but conference games left. Let's see. You want to paint the scenario of the Cowboys? What you think? The Cowboys got to win out to be in the hunt for the number 1 seed, don't you think?
I would think so.
So we're talking
at
13,
Green Bay
13-4 record, especially with as many teams ahead of them.
You at least got to go 3-1.
So that would be it.
And they're ahead of them, and they're playing well. They're not just ahead of them. They're playing. Tampa's playing well. Green Bay's playing well.
Right. So let's say the Cowboys win out 13-4. Okay.
And Tampa's not going to lose.
You got their
New Orleans, Carolina, the Jets, Carolina.
Okay, so we're going to assume. Well, then that makes it all a moot point. So,
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's move on to something
let's
else
go.
now.
Let's go on to something more important.
New Orleans already beat Tampa Bay, by the way.
Oh,
That's
there
what
you
I just
go.
said.
So there you
well.
go. So there you go. It is an interesting league that we are playing in here. Strange things do happen. So
Now,
let's
did
just say
Washington beat Tampa? No, I was wrong about that.
No, they did.
Okay.
29.
that's right. Washington beat Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so if they can lose to Washington,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So let's just say Tampa Bay loses a game. Okay, we would then need a third team that would be in the hunt with the Cowboys there.
And Arizona's got
So you would need Arizona to only lose the
To the
one more
Cowboys.
game to the Cowboys, and then there would be a three-way tie. But you need the Packers to lose twice in that case. But it's a four-way tie. Let the Packers lose once. Who the Packers got left?
Packers have Baltimore, Cleveland, Minnesota, Detroit.
So that's what we need to figure out. And we just did with the conference records, if the Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, and Cardinals wind up in a four-way tie, meaning the Cowboys win out and all three of the others lose a game, the Cowboys will have the number one seed because they will have the better conference record.
Yeah,
That's correct.
There you go. We figured it out.
if they win out.
If the
could win out.
Cowboys have to win out,
could
and
win
the
out.
other three would have to lose one game.
Well-
And Arizona, yeah.
They need to start scoring touchdowns.
Well, as long as the defense is playing like this, I mean, we don't care.
Just kick field goals.
But
Yeah,
the Cowboys
just
do
go
not
ahead.
want to be in a head-to-head tie with Tampa Bay.
right, because the
Just a two-way tie with Tampa Bay.
if having all of our defenders back, and this is an indication of how they're going to play the rest of the season, just relax.
Okay.
Just relax. I mean, come on, just take your shirt off and get a tan or something.
So we'll just have home game after home game.
Take your shirt
after
off and you can
home
go to Cabo
That's
with a
right,
first-round
man.
bye, right?
First round bye. You and Dak.
I just think
Romo.
Right,
Wait.
Romo and Whit-
But again, I think we mentioned it yesterday. Even regardless of the first round bye, you would like to have the second seed. Mm-hmm. So you make sure you get
You're
one of
playing
those.
like Washington in the first round.
Yeah. Not the Rams.
By
the way-
I don't like playing a team 3 times
Yeah.
in a season.
No.
Or especially in a month, which that would be the case if it
that
was
would be
Washington.
bad.
And
That
that
is bad.
certainly
No
didn't-
coach likes that at all.
That certainly didn't help the Cowboys out in 2007, right? They beat the Giants both times and then lost in I guess it was the second round of the playoffs.
13-3
After the Cabo
That was
trip.
13-3. 13-3 season. Well, the Giants beat at that time the Redskins 3 times in 1986. Correct?
Yes.
They were beating up. How do you say his name? Schroeder.
Jay Schrader.
Jay Schrader. Yeah.
They beat him up the whole season, and everyone thought that third game Washington was going to prevail, and that was one of the toughest Giant teams you ever want to see because they beat them 3 games that season, and we went on to win the Super Bowl.
But the priority is to win 10 games. That means the 10th
This
game.
week.
That means
This
this
week.
week against a 4-9 Giants team.
That's on its backup quarterback,
That's on
Mike
it.
Glennon.
And if not him, then Jake Fromm.
Or Fromm,
Fromm. Is it Fromm?
Georgia quarterback. Yep.
Okay.
It's from. He's lying. I don't think he knows.
I thought it was
Jake Fromm.
It's from.
Okay, I thought it was
He's
Fromm.
from Georgia.
From Georgia.
From
killing
Georgia.
me.
From Georgia.
And the guy that gave the Cowboys a whole bunch of trouble the first time around, Kadarius Toney, is out with COVID. Like half the league, it looks like. 30.
It was 37 yesterday.
37 guys tested positive on Monday, including the Cowboys' Cedric Wilson, who's been vaccinated. So if 5 days work out for him and he's healthy, he could play by Sunday.
Why?
And how about this? Washington had 5 of those guys test positive on Monday. So
They had 5 more because they had 2 on Saturday, Sunday. That
Well,
their
it
backup
said-
defensive ends
I
that were
read
supposed to start.
5, including Jonathan Allen.
Okay, so they've got the spread continues there.
So that's
should our
not.
guys be getting tested?
I was going to say that
Yeah.
didn't bode well for
Yeah,
the
if I'm
Cowboys.
playing
having
against this
played
guy,
against them.
yeah.
Well, the Cowboys
been-
the Cowboys had to test on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the league-wide daily testing continuing? The post-Thanksgiving?
Unvaccinated daily. It was
Well, that's
supposed
always-
it was supposed to go through December 5th,
Okay.
and then it was back to weekly on Monday.
Okay.
So it looks like the Cowboys should be clear
Yeah.
than other than Cedric Wilson. And I say other than, but with Noah Brown out, if he's not back, then Malik Turner's the fourth receiver.
I like Malik. I feel good with him in there.
He's been decent, but you lose your fourth and fifth wide receiver.
And not to mention the special teams position.
And then we find out after we finished our show that Tyron Smith is definitely going to miss this game and still up in the air. And we probably would find out after our show today if LC, Lale Collins, is suspended or not.
He's not going to be suspended.
You don't think so?
No, he's already been suspended. He got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, but they want a full game time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Let's say he comes back in the second half of next game.
Yeah, right, like college. See, my only concern about it is it's one thing to, do the roughing thing, but when you throw a punch, the league has a problem with that, and I think he ended up throwing two.
And he should have known that,
right?
There's a line that you don't cross.
You could
confrontation. That's great. Confrontation.
Yeah.
Chest
up.
Yeah,
push.
but then once you start hitting to the head and throwing blows, then that's no longer potential bench clearing incident.
Well, but the league likes Lyle so much.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good for the bottom line. How much has he contributed already?
Well, I bet it's another 13,000.
Man, he and CeeDee Lamb, boy, they
Although
are popular.
maybe Dak will give him a Christmas
NFL
present.
charities,
right?
Maybe
he was defending the quarterback's honor, right? So, but yeah, he can't help with a suspension. So,
hey man, wait a minute. So, what about Zeke?
What about him?
Come on, man. We saw the incident. I mean, come on, man. They act as if he didn't do anything.
Well, he just pushed.
Is that all he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more like a headbutt type push thing. It wasn't just a push. I mean, he kind of threw his whole body.
Did you notice, by the way, who was standing by watching
McCarthy?
Very fatherly was McCarthy.
I didn't see that.
He didn't move like
you're busy looking for punches.
Right. I saw Zeke doing headbutting. And
He looked like a proud papa.
Yeah, he didn't smile. He didn't smile.
But he was like,
he didn't make a move to break it up either.
He looked stern.
Yeah.
No, he looked
proud.
He looked proud.
Okay.
Okay.
Get him, son. Get him, son.
That's what we needed last year, right?
That's right. And the same place last year in Dalton.
Until you lose.
Of course, that was with all backup offensive linemen.
Right. Until you lose both offensive tackles for the rest of the way. Never a good thing. And the way they played it, Ty Nsekhe came in because they were using Steele as that second or third tight end blocking. They brought Ty Nsekhe in at left tackle, and then when LC got thrown out, Steele went to right tackle. So it sounded like Steele would take over at left tackle, but that's yet to be determined.
I'm still loving this stubbornness that we have to run the ball. I mean, it doesn't matter who's back there. We're giving them a shot.
Clement.
It doesn't matter.
Pollard.
They just kept plugging away at it. I think eventually, if we can just give this offensive line some confidence.
They didn't do enough of plugging away at it. They threw a pass, got intercepted for a touchdown.
Why do we do this?
Because they can't run the football.
Exactly. I mean, but you still have you can't give up on it. You just can't. You have no choice.
But I watch these other games and I see when the guy hits the hole, he's got 2 yards to each side of him.
Man,
I haven't seen one of those in ages.
Michelle was killing it against the Cardinals. Whoa!
It's what happened to the holes? What's going on?
Oh, it's because Zeke can't run.
It's all Zeke's fault.
There's a reason why when you hit a wall, it's hard to run.
I hate to mention his name, but even Babe Laufenberg, he talked about how he studied last week's game, and he was right. They weren't moving the defensive lineman. There was no movement.
Why can't people see that?
There's no movement. I mean, every time he gets the ball, they are waiting on him, and they are not even engaged. They have the control of the lineman. Therefore, they can disengage, make a play whenever they want.
So until that gets fixed, then you have a problem because now you're in 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9.
2 high safeties.
Yeah. And
you're not bringing the safety down. You're not running the ball.
And they're coming.
They're coming with 4.
So
pressure with 4.
I did a study, and we can do this after the break, on they had 5 legitimate red zone possessions. The 6th one was the kneel down at the end. So they were 1 for 6 on touchdowns. And I went through and looked at the plays for those possessions. So if you
we'll dive into
care
that
to talk
when
about
Mick
that.
Shots continues in a moment from inside the SWBC podcast studio on a terrific Tuesday.
Terrific.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Mick Shots.
Give the gift of Cowboys this season with a Dallas Cowboys United membership presented by Globe Life. It's the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Memberships start at just $20 and include an exclusive fan pack and VIP member experiences. 'Tis the season. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United to get yours today.
Bill was trying to distract you on that.
Yeah,
one.
well.
Yeah, all the way to the end.
You know what? We need to do that every day.
Questions. And, yeah.
It was a flawless read.
Flawless and comfortable, yes.
We need to do that every day. We need to talk him up right up to the point of no return.
Which is sort of funny because I can remember back in the day covering basketball games at courtside and writing during the game with all the noise in the stands never bothered me. But if I'm there by myself and then there's just one person shouting, I want to strangle them. Right?
Like after a game?
Yeah.
Like golf, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just give me consistent noise.
All right, there's several things you want to get into
so
here.
I mentioned the testing in the league, and there's been a bunch of outbreaks. Cleveland last week, a bunch of teams having problems. So the NFL sent out a mandate yesterday that all Tier 1 and Tier 2 individuals will have to, if they're eligible for it, need to have a booster shot no later than December 27th of this year. Now, that obviously doesn't include players, as Jerry was explaining this morning. Because of the NFLPA, in the union, they can't mandate players get vaccinated. So all coaches and anybody in the front office are they're connected with the team on the charter flight, in practice, in the locker room. If they are have passed the second dose, 6 months
on a Pfizer or
Moderna,
then
it's
2 months.
2 months on J&J. You have to get a booster shot by the 27th And if you don't, then you're not allowed to be around the team.
But if you've had COVID within the last 90 days, you don't have to have the booster until the 90-day
yeah,
period.
because you're probably not.
You're in that.
Yeah, there's
That's
things
right.
that
You
you're not
cannot
eligible
get-
for.
yeah.
So,
But I mentioned Kadarius Toney. This is the second time he's tested positive.
This guy is a Tasmanian devil. He's all over the place on the field,
right,
and off the field. You saw him; how he's amazing. I mean, he's just a dynamic wide receiver. But you look at him, even on the sidelines, they're trying to tend to him. I think it was the first game this year. He's so upset about hurting his foot or something. He makes this move and just shows his anger at the injury, and he headbutts one of the physicians in the face while he's doing that. And every time you look up, he's either injured, wanting to fight somebody, or he's going off the field. I mean, he's just all over the place. I wouldn't give him he's an angry bird. That's what he is.
Angry bird.
He's an angry bird. He's all over the place, knocking things over.
So anyway, that's the new thing in the NFL right now. So boosters are important.
And tier 2, I mean, it's people that it would be in contact with the locker room, basically.
Yes. Yeah. So trainers,
janitors,
front office staff,
staff, the equipment guys, anybody
have
that's out on the
interactions.
practice field. Yeah.
In-house media who have access
Exactly.
to the
And
players.
for example, Nick Eatman, he's tier 2.
Okay.
And because he can.
What are you?
He 2M.
Which is 2 media.
2 media meeting.
Well, you are not. So we're
not
even though-
allowed to interview the players.
Like in the locker room after the game.
After the game in the
Okay.
hallway, the way Nick does.
Okay.
The extra players that don't go into the interview room. Yeah.
Okay, and along those lines, Kansas City, Chris Beam was informing me that I saw that Chris Jones had tested positive.
Yes.
The Chiefs' defensive tackle, and Andy Reid, according to Chris Beam. But the interesting thing about the Chiefs, apparently,
I don't think they are.
Oh, never mind. Well, move on then. All right, Mickey, what else you got on your slate there?
I thought I had time to look my stuff up. You know, you were sitting there
Chris,
on a tangent.
Chris he anticipated your needs.
All right.
And let you know he will not meet them.
So when Kellen Moore did his interview yesterday, and they were trying to get him on the slump. Okay, the offense is what's the problem? And his point was they're failing once they get inside the red zone. And he kind of used the term, he goes, we got stuck down there in the red zone, and that can drive you crazy. Drives me crazy when we get stuck there a little bit. Because we had some nice flow to what was going on. And so I went and looked at their red zone possessions, and not the last one when they knelt down, right? So the first one, they're 1st and 10 at the 20 after Zeke's 15-yard catch run. So they get down to the 20. Well, they take Zeke out. 15-yard run, I guess, give him a blow. So first down. Clement comes in. They go heavy, Steele as the second tight end, and they run for 0 yards. So now it's second down. Dak tries to run out of the pocket because of pressure. He gets sacked for 0 yards. Now it's 3rd and 10. Okay, now you're 3rd and 10 at the 20. You're trying to make sure you at least get something, I guess. So they tried the wide receiver screen to Cooper. And they get 3 yards. So what happens? You get a field goal. The next time was the time they scored the touchdown. It was 1st and 10 at the 12. Zeke goes for 5. 2nd and 5 at the 7. And Tyron Smith gets called for not being on the line of scrimmage. So -5. You're second.
And that was the shovel pass, the fake pitch shovel pass, but it was the penalty that pushed them back.
Them back to 2nd and 10 at the 12. Incomplete, and then they hit the touchdown pass to Cooper. The third time, they were 2nd and 5 at the 19. Dak's under pressure. He's high to CD at the goal line. incomplete. 3rd and 5 at the 19, pressure again, and he just tries to dump it over the middle to Zeke. It's incomplete, field goal. The next time, 1st and 10 at the 11. At the 11.
Where are we in the game now?
This should be the end of the second quarter, maybe, because they kicked a field goal at the end, right?
Okay, all right, yep.
1st and 10 at the 11.
So this is all first half here.
All first half. He gets sacked. Now, I think he held the ball a little too long, but still, it's a sack. So instead of 1st and 10 at the 11, now you're 2nd and 18 at the 19. Gallup drops a pass. He's wide open. He's trying to run with it before he catches it. Now, 3rd and 18 at the 19. Nobody's open. He tries to dump it.
What do you think he would have done with that?
I think you would have gained yardage at least. Some of that 18, I don't think he would have got all
about
18,
half of it.
But he got at least half of it. Now you're 3rd and 18, and you're sitting there going, all right, what do we do? Well, no one's open again, and he dumps it over the middle. It was just a desperate dump, incomplete. It's a field goal. And then in the second half, they're 1st and 10 at the 15. Clement runs for 3, and that's when Tyron gets hurt out of the game. So 2nd and 7 at the 12. He throws it to Schultz. It looked like he's going to catch it. He gets hit by the defensive back, and it's incomplete. And then 3rd and 7, they threw a little out to Clement. It only got 2, but if they had gotten a touchdown, they called pass interference on CeeDee Lamb for basically blocking too soon. So another field goal. So they got there, but they cannot do anything.
That was tough to hear.
The red zone.
That's whole thing was tough to hear.
4 field goals, and so you get a sack in one, a penalty in another, a sack and a drop in the other, and then another penalty. It's like, okay, so why did you – and some of that, the defense helped you to get there, right? But you got there, and you're not converting.
That's 5 times. Those are 5 times in the red zone, I believe.
Yes.
That's good. But you didn't do anything.
But you didn't do anything
bad.
with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Kellen Moore said it makes me crazy.
But also part of that is you're not taking chances. You've got like on the last one, you got a 21-0
right.
lead.
You just say,
making
okay,
sure
let's kick the
let's
field
get
goal.
the points,
Yeah.
And these especially against that team, which has no chance of coming back against that defense unless you throw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter.
Or you have
then you can go ahead and kick your field goals and you're going to blow them out.
Yeah, or you have one bad possession, right? Where all they had was one possession that they drove down the field, right?
Right.
Scored a touchdown.
Right, and then a pick 6.
And then the pick 6. And so, and then, okay, the quarterback slumping. Well, is his slump because he got sacked 5 times?
And getting hit
and
so
got
many
hit
times.
4 more times and had to run out of the pocket 7 times? 7?
And this is just one game we're talking.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Saints game as well, to where these same things were happening.
So, and then it was like the criticism going into the game because I think at some point somebody said, I don't remember if it was Kellen or McCarthy said, yeah, sometimes Dak sees things so fast, he didn't wait to develop. He's reading them and he's getting the ball out. So that was the story, right? He's trying to throw the pass too fast. He's not letting things read out. Well, he ain't got time to let it read out.
That is it.
Otherwise, you'll have a dozen sacks.
He can feel them around him. He can feel them every time, and that's not ghosts. They are there for real.
Right.
And these guys are putting pressure on every time without even blitzing, and that's what is scary. Because now you can't throw a hot route, right? Because they're coming with pressure with 4 men. You have to stick with the play. So therefore, the timing is off, and you get a little antsy back there.
What you got there, Bill?
Well, I was going to ask, would you like to dive further into this in their last segment, or do you have something else that you would like to get into?
I think we've done pretty well.
Okay,
so
let's. All right. Why? I'm going to pose this question. You can mull over it and then come back and give me an answer after this break. Why then are Dak's numbers so good from the first 6 games of the season and not so much in his last 6 games when Mick Shots continues in a moment?
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Registration for holiday youth camps is now open. Don't miss the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Dance Academy camps, and on December 21st at the Star in Frisco and December 22nd at AT&T Stadium. Space is limited, so register today at dallascowboys.com/academy. And they changed up that read on me because it was not only Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders Dance Academy camps, but also football camps too.
And football sold out.
And football is sold out.
Wow.
There you go.
Not surprising.
Sold out.
Not surprising.
That's why I got an extra "and" in there, because I was ready for "and" the football camps.
We did go to football camp, see you in February. That's how I've been told.
Okay.
All right.
By the way, speaking of February, since the Super Bowl is now pushed back another week, February is going to be February every year is one of the worst months for sports. It's just because the Super Bowl's over the first week, and there's nothing, NBA, nothing's going on. March Madness hadn't started yet. It's always the worst sports month of the year, and it's going to be so much better this year because the Super Bowl is being played in mid-February because of the 17-week season, and so from a sports standpoint, February is not going to be bad at all. It's going to be like 2 weeks after is the Combine, do they push that back at all? Chris, do you know?
It's usually the last week.
It's usually the
February.
last week in February, which would be 2 weeks after the Super Bowl.
But they moved the Super Bowl back.
So maybe they pushed that back. I haven't looked at it. All right. Dak. First 6 games versus last 6 games. Here are his numbers from the first 6 games of the season. He had a 73% completion percentage, yards per attempt 8.4, 4 picks, 16 touchdowns, 14 sacks. Cowboys went 5-1, and of course at the end of that was the calf injury on the last play of the game against New England. Mm-hmm. Okay, they missed a game. Cowboys have played 6 games since he came back.
No, they've played, 6.
Since he came back.
Sorry.
Yep. And what's their record in those 6 games,
3-3.
Okay. All right. The completion percentage is 63% as opposed to 73% the first 6 games. Yards per attempt, 6.6 as opposed to 8.4 the first 6. The interceptions are 6. The touchdowns are 9 as opposed to 4 and 16. The sacks are basically the same, 13 sacks to 14 sacks. So, what's the difference? Why is it different?
Okay. The Denver game, I can excuse, right?
First it was game back, and it
was one of those games, right? They were bound to lose one.
And they fell behind 30-0.
So the next game,
never caught up.
They scored.
They tried.
Yeah.
They scored.
In fact, some of those numbers I just mentioned were.
Well, that's because they kicked 3 field goals and didn't score touchdowns. Okay, the next game, they scored 43 points
against Atlanta.
Okay, so not bad.
We're bad,
right? The next game,
Kansas City.
Kansas City's pretty good, right? But in the Kansas City game, there was no Amari Cooper and no CeeDee Lamb.
In the second
and
half
no
of the game,
Tyron Smith. Okay, second half of the game. All right? And then they play Vegas, scored 33 points. Okay, fine. Then New Orleans, the offense basically scores 20, 2 touchdowns. New Orleans is not bad.
Got a good defense. They have a good defense.
But was that the game? No, Pollard got.
That's when Pollard took it to the house.
He had the 58-yarder. All right,
Got hurt on that play.
And then this last game, no Pollard.
But they had everybody else back.
Except for the second half, your offensive tackles. And they just didn't play well. They had drops, pressure. Look, everybody wants to give him an excuse that he's not healthy. He's healthy.
He's healthy.
How did he get 33 points against the Raiders on a short week on Thanksgiving? There's nothing wrong with him. The thing that's wrong with him is he's under pressure, and he's trying to make throws that he probably shouldn't be making.
It's judgment more than it is fatigue. It is judgment. He is not confused about anything. He's not. Every decision he's made has been, in those particular situations, has been a bad decision because his hesitancy puts him in that situation. If he were to, I think, have a little bit more confidence in his legs, and I said this, I think, yesterday. I think he's just a little bit hesitant to run the ball. And to me, give up on the play. Don't be afraid to give up on the play.
That's right there. He's starting to get stubborn and trying to make something out of nothing.
Extremely stubborn.
And I got a feeling Bill asked the question because he had an answer for his own.
But as you were talking, do you have the stats for the Cowboys stats in front of you? For individual stats for the running backs?
Yeah.
For this past game?
No, for the season, because I've got them through the New England game.
Okay.
Now, this isn't 6 games, but it would be 7 games since then.
So Zeke, 185 carries now.
Okay.
For this season, 810 yards. He's still averaging 4.4 a carry.
Okay. I'm going to do some math as you.
8 touchdowns.
Okay. I'm doing some math as you speak here. Whoa. Wow.
Kind of falling off.
Wow.
Because he was on pace for, I want to say, a 1,400-yard season. Probably after 6 games.
Okay. So, I get my little calculator out here. Oh, this is fun. Okay. His first 6 games of the year, he had 102 carries for 521 yards. So that means since then, he has 289 yards rushing on 83 carries, which is 3.5 yards a carry.
Okay.
Now Pollard.
What did he have after 6?
What do you have him at for the season?
107 for 602.
602. How many touchdowns?
2. So
all right.
One after the first 6.
Okay. So that's 46. And that is 234 and 236. And 1. Okay. 40. So through the New England game, he had 61 carries for 366 yards and a touchdown. Since the New England game, 46 carries, 236 yards and a touchdown. 236 divided by 46, he's 5.1 yards a carry. But
you got a 58-yard run in there. So take out 45 carries and take a 58 from 236 and tell me what you got.
Okay, 36, 22. That's
great math on
178 divided by 45.
Yeah.
3.95, 4 yards a carry.
There you go.
So it's hand in hand, okay? Dak's having problems in the passing game. The biggest difference in this offense, I believe, since the first 6 games of the season is they're not running the football.
I was going to say
they're not able to run the football like they did. They had the same, and we talk about Zeke looked like he did his rookie year. The offense was functioning like it did in 2016.
The offensive line was blocking their butts
That's right.
off.
And we were talking about this offensive line looks as good as it did in 5 years. And
we said that could take you into the playoffs. That's the kind of team you need.
And I was trying to find this stat, but I was trying to find you would have to go through each game to see, like on second down, how many times on second down are they 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 9? And I started marking it. I think it was for the New Orleans game, maybe. And I forgot what my total was because I said, this is an endless chore here if I'm going to do it for 16 games. Because I figured somewhere out there's a stat on what you face on second down, like 2nd and 8 to 10, 2nd 6 to 7, whatever. And it just seems like I chart every play. It seems like I'm forever writing 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8.
That is true, Spags. It is always 2nd and 8.
And that causes problems if, now you throw an incompletion because second down now.
If we get 3 yards, I'm happy.
Right.
On first down.
And actually, Kellen said 4, 5, and 6 is really good on first down to prevent 3rd and long all the time because then they know what they're doing and your play selection is limited at that point. It was like, what was the play I told you? They were 3rd and 18 at the 19 or whatever, 3rd and 18 at the 19. Mm-hmm. Now, what are your chances of converting that, right? Better just take the field goal and don't screw up the 3 points. So, it's just across the board. It's not one person.
Well, and then look at the Dallas defense against Washington. Okay, we talk about the sacks that Parsons got, the interception by Gregory, but one of the keys in that game was they stopped the run. They could do nothing in the run game. Washington,
and that was their calling card, running the football.
But take that to the Dallas offense. When you can't Washington couldn't run the ball in that game, and so they couldn't pass it in that game.
Heineke didn't even look like the same guy. Mm-hmm. The Brett Favre type of player that I had called him just last week. He looks like Brett Favre. Yeah, he does. And you looked at me like I was crazy. You really think so? I'm like, yeah, he does this, does that. I saw none of that in the game. No. And that's because the effectiveness of his running game was taken away.
And Gibson, or not just Gibson, but Washington last year against the Cowboys in 2 games, and I don't have the exact number, but I want to say they ran for a combined 390 yards against the Cowboys in 2 games last year.
Well, what have been the 2 worst defensive performances by the Cowboys team during this stretch?
What are?
The Dallas defense, the 2 worst games they've played here in the last 6 weeks.
Well, it was Denver for
sure.
Yeah.
And the Raiders.
And the Raiders.
Okay. Denver had 190 yards rushing on the Dallas defense in that game. They had 41 carries for 190 yards in that game. And the Raiders had 143 yards on 35 carries. And it wasn't so much that that's only four yards a carry for the Raiders, but they had the lead and they were able to run the football and control the game. And Denver certainly did that with 41 carries for 190 yards. It shows in this league, as much as we look at, you got to be able to throw the ball, but what sets up that throwing the ball is the ability to run the football. And I think that's a lot of the problems that this passing game is having right now is that they haven't been able to run the game.
Well, nothing's changed since the origin of football. Mm-hmm. In the trenches, that's where you win. We can have all the talent we want as far as specialists, but when you're in the trenches, if you control that, that's how Kansas City lost in the Super Bowl because they decided that,
Well, their offensive line wasn't there.
And Tampa decided that this is where we're going to control our game.
Right, and they did. And I forgot one factor in that Raiders game, too. There were 28 penalties.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But they still scored
14
33
apiece,
points.
Though.
Yeah.
14 apiece.
Yeah, it was even.
It was even.
Yeah. And one thing that you harp on is rushing touchdowns. And how many touchdowns rushing did Zeke have the first 6 games of the season? He had 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got 3, and I bet 2 of them are 1-yard runs.
So
I could look that up, but I don't think we have time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they haven't run the ball in from 10 yards except for Pollard from 58, right? You always got to throw the ball, and
why is it so difficult if you know you have problems on your front offensive line? We've got to devise a scheme that can get the extra protection even with a 4-man rush. Let's just not be stubborn. Keep someone in, even if it's not a blitz, even if it's not 5-man. You've got to keep someone in. We need to just realize they're getting pressure against us without blitzing. We just got to realize that. Sacrifice one guy, bring him out late if you want. The running back can bleed out late. But otherwise, we need to just pick our paws and right away make sure that we protect the quarterback first before we do anything.
So look at the Atlanta game. They had 2 rushing touchdowns. No, 3. I'm sorry. Dak had 1. 4-yard run. Zeke, 1-yard run. Zeke, 2-yard run. Kansas City didn't score a touchdown. So
and we've noticed that we've noticed already we don't run the ball. We barely run the ball on consecutive plays.
Right.
And that's just, you got to get out of that pattern. Mm-hmm. You just got to. I mean, if we know it, everyone else knows it. And you just, so the offensive linemen now, they're under the gun because that defensive lineman, they're looking at those knuckles. Those knuckles are not white on those offensive linemen. That means that their hand is not on the ground and they're looking to back up as opposed to go forward.
And then if we look at the Raiders game, and I forgot this part because I said they scored 33, but they did have a 100-yard kickoff return.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Zeke, 1-yard touchdown run. New Orleans, there was a Gallup 1-yard pass for a touchdown.
It was pretty, though.
And then Pollard's 58-yard run. So, yeah, running into the end zone inside the 10-yard line even.
It sets the tone.
I mean, you saw it last night with Connor, right, when he kind of bulldozed his way.
Yeah, they thought he was stopped, and the second effort got him
and he just kept going and going.
What do opposing defensive coordinators, how would they term our offense? The Cowboys' offense is what? What's
sporadic?
Run versus pass.
We're
heavy pass.
It's a pass happy offense. That's right.
And somehow they're stopping the run, even knowing it's pass happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like they'd rather stop the run and take their chance putting pressure on Dak than vice versa and let him run the football. And that's what they're going to face until they solve it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very good. That does it for a terrific Tuesday.
Renzo makes me crazy.
All right, and we will chat at you again tomorrow at 1:30 here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!